Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. Just a huge favor, two big favors. One, right here, jump inside the chat. Let us know that you're here. Tell us where you're joining us from, what you're excited about, what you feel life and momentum on in your life. Also, do me another huge favor, like and share this post. That tells Facebook and it tells YouTube that we're doing a good job. And if you've ever been with us on a Monday, you know that I don't try to do anything fluffy. Yes, Mentor Mondays are always free, and we're always trying to help you um, be encouraged, grow in confidence, and build your coaching practice. And even though it's free, we don't do anything fluffy. So do us a huge favor and like this and share it and jump into the comments and let us know that you're here because I don't get the privilege of seeing you or hearing your voice. So the next best thing is that I can see you actually active in the chat. Let me say hello to Freya. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing your name right, Freya. I'm hoping it's correct. Lisa is joining us from Ohio. How's it going, Lisa? Again, if you guys would jump inside of the chat right here and let us know that you are here. Tell us where you are joining us from and what you're excited about tonight. Also, just a huge favor, like and share this post. Again, that tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. That way we can get this out in front of more coaches, aspiring coaches, veteran coaches, all those people, because we help them all, quite frankly, because they all need help. Sage that's joining us from Arizona. Good to see you, Sage. Again, just a huge favor, everybody. Jump inside of the comments. Let us know that you're here. I don't know that you're here. I mean, the algorithm knows you're here, but I don't know you're here. So jump inside of the chat widget and say hello to us. Also, like and share this post. Gives us puts us out in front of more aspiring coaches and veteran coaches. There's Cameron joining us from North Carolina. Welcome. And Sandy's joining us from New Jersey. Sandy says, I'm excited to be back. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Angela's joining us from Munich. Welcome, Angela. Again, if you guys would jump inside of the chat, let us know that you're here and like and share this post. That way we can get this in front of more coaches. Awesome. Well, here's what we're going to do. And how did I get switched over here? What just happened? I bounced over here or something like that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to figure out why I'm like stuck on this camera over here. And I'm going to come back in a second, I'm sure. But let's see. Uh-oh. Now it's saying that everything's disconnected. Give me 1 second. And we're going to reconnect all this stuff. Give me 1 second. And we're going to get it fixed. But it's just going to take me a second because I'm not really sure why we get disconnected. Give me 1 second. And then we're almost there, everybody. I have no idea what's happening. You know what's funny is that last time that I was talking about something like this exact topic, this exact thing happened. This was like, I don't know how long ago that was, maybe a year ago. And let me just make sure that my microphone did not switch to. I want to make sure that I've got the right microphone for all of you because I don't want a bad microphone. But let me see. I'll know one thing. Testing, 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 testing. Okay. Testing, testing. I don't know if we got the right microphone on. Man, I'm hoping so. Let me double check. One thing. It's always important that we've got the right stuff working. Okay, so it looks like the right thing's working. And I'm frozen again. Come on. Are you kidding me? Give me 1 second. We're going to get this fixed one way or another. One way or another, we're going to get it fixed, and we're going to get everything out there. I am thinking we got a cable issue going on or something, and we just need 1 second to get it fixed. So, bear with me, everybody. We're going to get it fixed. Promise you, we're going to get it fixed. It's just going to take a second. And we're going to get it all fixed. Give me 1 second. We don't want that camera, huh? That's the bad camera. We want the good camera. Give me 1 second, and we'll have everything fixed. You see how that stuff happens? Just know that there's always fails with technology, but you got to persevere through them. And so that will give all of you encouragement that if things happen and it's all going to be okay. Now, if we freeze again, I might have to do something different, but we'll see what we can do. Let me say hello to a few more people really quick that hung with me through the pain that we just had. LaShawn that's saying hello from Tampa. And so with no further delay, let's go ahead and jump into what we're talking about today, and do us a huge favor and keep letting us know that you are here. We started this series last week. It's all about the coaching product blueprint that we are actually coming back to. In January 24th is actually when this is going to be taking place again. And if you are part of our Jumpstart program, you are already invited and you're already registered to be a part of it. And what do we do in the coaching product launch blueprint? Well, what I do is I walk you through all of the steps from zero, from brainstorming all the way to launch, whether it be a coaching product or actually your coaching practice for those of you who have not launched your coaching practice yet. I'll say more about it, but what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to continue on this theme of really what do you need to do, what are the steps, and what are the things that you need to know if, and really last week I made the argument for creating coaching products because it's going to add additional streams of income for your business. So tonight what we're talking about specifically in coaching, what are the coaching products? What are the things specifically that fly off the shelves? And what are the things that I see out there amongst coaches that are, well, quite frankly, flopping? Now, here's a reality check. Most of the coaching stuff that I'm seeing out there actually is flopping. And it's not necessarily because what is being put together is bad. It's because coaches are some of the biggest copycatters in the world. They follow somebody on Instagram, they follow them on Facebook, they follow them on TikTok or whatever, and they just assume, wow, this person knows what they're doing. I'm going to emulate them. I'm going to copycat. I'm just going to do the same kind of things that they're doing. But a lot of coaches, in terms of their own marketing and their own ability to put themselves out there, they actually do a really, really bad job. Doesn't mean that they're bad coaches. It just means that they have no clue of what they're doing when it comes to actually putting themselves out there and marketing and selling themselves and everything else. So again, it doesn't necessarily mean that their coaching is bad. It's just that they just don't have that step covered. And they don't really understand how to put themselves out there and do those things. And so really for the last 10 years, I've been helping coaches make course corrections. Some of them are veteran coaches that have gotten trained and certified elsewhere, came and learned. Matter of fact, that's actually how Life Coach Training Institute started. To tell you the short version of that story, I had started out like many coaches did, thousands of dollars in debt, and had no idea how to get clients. And then I started trying to understand what it was that we were doing. You have to, first of all, understand what you're selling and what you're not selling, and how to put yourself out there, and how to build relationships with people, and all these other things. And I had no money to try to figure those things out, so I hung out in libraries, and I hung out in the aisle of Barnes & Noble. I'm not going to buy this book. I'm just going to read a few pages of it. And then what existed on the internet, because everything was kind of in its infancy back then. And then when I started having success, I started having coaches that were reaching out to me that they were like, looks like what you're doing is working. Can you look at what I'm doing? So I remember walking into one coach's office, sat down, and I'm looking at the stuff. They were charging $25 an hour and had no clients. And I'm like, well, please do not only charge. Like I started looking through their stuff, and I'm like, this won't work, and this is the reason why. And so what ended up being given birth was Life Coach Training Institute out of all of those kinds of things. So in their Jumpstart program specifically, we've been helping coaches build out their practices and get clients. And so that's where Life Coach Training Institute was born, the Jumpstart program, but then ultimately the coaching product launch blueprint, which is what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you the things that actually work and what you need to consider if you're going to sell anything online, if you're going to sell your coaching products or your business anywhere. Please take note of everything that I'm going to show you tonight. Take notes, save this video, share it, whatever you need to do, put it out there so that you can come back to it, okay? Now, when it comes to coaching, I'm going to just say coaching that flies off the shelves, not just coaching products, but coaching that flies off the shelves. What I want to do is I want to actually, and I saw a message from Angela, and I just want to make sure that, yeah, it looks like I've got it back on the regular microphone. That's concerned. Coaching that flies off the shelves. First of all, I'm going to give you a few points, and then we're going to actually look at these things. Coaching that flies off the shelves, first of all, is that your ideal client has to be able to see themselves in anything that you're offering out there. When I say that they need to be able to see themselves, what happens a lot of times when you go on a coaching website or a sales page or a product or anything else, it ends up being really vague. And the only hero that you see on someone's coaching website is the coach themselves. And they talk about themselves. And they talk about their stories, and they talk about what they've been through and everything else. And here's what I want to give you a quick hint. Your potential clients, your ideal clients, your future clients, anybody who could possibly work with you in the future does not care about your story. They really don't. There is one story that they care about, and you know what story that is? They care about their own story. That's why they're there. And if they're going to spend any time there, past a few seconds and not bounce off of your web page to something else, then the only way that they're going to stick around is if they see themselves inside of your story. So any way that you craft the narrative on your website, your bio page, or anything else that's going on with anything you talk about, they need to be able to see themselves. That's why it's really important for you to be vulnerable. That's why it's very important for you to not be flawless. That's why, like, hey, it was great that everything kind of failed on me a little while ago, because it happens. Does that make me lose credibility? Well, if those people never come back and they never come back to Life Coach Training Institute and they don't value what I say because I had a technical problem, well, they're too perfect for me because I'm not. You know what? Try to do the best that I can, like all of you. Try to grow. I try to develop. I try to be better than I was a year ago, 6 months ago, even 3 months ago. Those are the commitments that we make. So when people come on your website and they see anything that you're doing, we're not looking for flawless perfection. What we're looking for is hashtag no filter. We're looking for people who are real, who have been in the trenches, who have a limp, who have some scars. They've actually been through life. And all of these things are spoken about not to elevate you into some superstar status, but to make you approachable, to make it where people actually trust you, they like you, and they believe your story because you've been through it. Maybe you've got a secret to something. Maybe you've got an open door. So coaching that flies off the shelves, first of all, the ideal client has to see themselves. Second thing is that your coaching solves a problem that they're already thinking about. Now, if you are out there with any kind of coaching product or service or your coaching business, and you're having to tell people on your website what coaching is, if you're having to get on there and say what coaching is, and coaching is not this, it's this, or you have a link on your website that explains what coaching is to someone, you're never going to be able to sell that. If when somebody goes on your website, you're trying to sell coaching packages and it's 4 sessions for $200, you're never going to sell that. It's not about the money. 4 sessions for $1,000, you're never going to sell that. You know why? Because no one knows why they need it. It's not something that they are aware of. Like, you don't have to educate people on what coaching is. If you're having to educate people on what coaching is, then they don't need it. People aren't on your website to educate themselves on something that they never thought that they needed before, and they're going to suddenly buy it. What they are on your website or on social media or anything else, if they give somebody the time of day to speak to them, they're going to open the door. They're going to give time or attention to it. You know what it's got to be? It's got to be about a problem they're already thinking about. Those are the coaching products or programs or courses or retreats or the coaching practices themselves that people are interested in. They're looking for themselves in your story and on your page. And secondly, they are only occupied with the problems that they're aware of right now. I don't need to educate someone that they have a problem. They know they have a problem. What is your ideal? You need to be able to answer this question. Who is your ideal client, and what problem is it that is keeping them up at night? And here's the third thing. The coaching products that fly off the shelves or the coaching practices that are full, the higher the pain, the higher the value. What do I mean by the higher the pain, the higher the value? When someone is in excruciating pain, let's give it an example like this. Like if you're not thirsty and you're shopping for your family and you're going to buy a 24-pack of water, you know what you're going to do? You're going to shop for the lowest price. You're not going to go to a convenience store on your regular shopping day to get a 24-pack of water. Why? Because you're probably going to be paying $50 for that. What do? You go to Costco, you go to Walmart, you go to Target or whatever, you go to the grocery store. What do? You shop deals. Because you're like, I can get this product anywhere, and it's my regular shopping day, and you're not particularly thirsty. So what are you going to do? You're going to buy that 24-pack and get the best price that you can. But if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and there's no stores that are open and you're dying of thirst, then you might pay $2.50 for a bottle of water when you could have gotten a whole pack earlier in the day at a grocery store for $5. Or even more so, if you're on a freeway or an interstate or whatever, you're driving and there's no cars and there's no towns, and it'll give you a warning, no towns for 100 miles, and you're desperately thirsty, you might pay $5 or $7 for a bottle of water because it's the only opportunity that you have. The pain equals the value that you see in something and what you're willing to pay. So you know what you need to pick? You need to pick a high quality problem. Let me show it to you like this. Let me grab my trusty whiteboard, and we're going to look at this. What a lot of coaches do, what a lot of coaches try to sell, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And that basically what we understand is the foundational needs that everybody has are the most urgent. What we would call these is maybe, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to call this level 10 need right here. This is what is the most urgent. It's what is most concerning. It's what people are going to choose over everything. If they had to choose anything in the world, you know what they're going to choose? They're going to choose air, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. Those are basic physiological needs. Now, we're not really going to have coaching around these things, but this is going to trump everything in the world in terms of what somebody will spend their money on, what they'll buy. These are high quality problems that somebody else is solving for them because we're not really solving them. Now, I guess if you're coaching, help people, desperately find a house if they didn't have a house or whatever. But for the most part, these are going to be the basic human needs that they must have before they can move on. Now, go a little bit further, and you know what? We've got still some really urgent needs here because we've got personal security and employment, because employment actually feeds this, and health feeds this, and property, all of these other kinds of things. They're really important for their own safety, for the safety of their family. So you know what? If I was a person looking for a coach, what do you think would be most in demand when you look over here? Is it the desire to become the most that one can be? Or would they pick a coach who's helping them with a career change, what do you think would be more in demand? Or someone who has health issues of some sort, you know what? This is going to be a higher priority when it comes to safety and some of those other kinds of things. You know what's also going to be a pretty high priority? Intimacy, anything that's in the realm of friendship or family or relationship. All of those things are going to be really high priority items. There's all kinds of in here. All of these things right here are what I would call, let me change my color here. I would call all of these things high quality problems. And you know what? What gets high quality problems? Money goes to high quality problems. You know how I know that? Because what are the most expensive things that you pay for every month? Something that has to do with your physiological needs. Food gets a big, and you know what? You're not going to not buy food. So you're going to buy food, and you're going to pay for shelter, and you're going to pay for electricity, and you're going to pay for water. And that's going to be most of the money that you spend. In California, it's pretty typical for people to pay out at least 25% of their monthly income goes to rent by itself or to their mortgage. Can you believe that? It's not that way everywhere. But if you looked at your bills, one of the highest bills that you're going to have in your entire month is going to be around these things, food and shelter and everything else. And probably something to get you back and forth to work, probably a car note or something like that. Look at your budget right now. You're going to see those things. Now, all of these things are high quality problems. So what do high quality problems get you? Whoops, I kind of messed that up. What do high quality problems get you? Well, high quality problems get you a lot of money. Choose a high quality problem. That's what we're really talking about here. Choose a high quality problem that people can solve, that you can help people solve. Now, here's the problem, is that most coaches are trying to live up here and bring coaching there. You know what that is? It's low. I wouldn't say it's not a problem. It's just a lower quality problem. You know what it is? It's a lower pain point every day in someone's life. There are some people who want to live their best life. They might even say that. These are people who probably have no money issues at all and maybe no problems in these other areas because they're just like, I'm just going to go after my life's purpose or something like that. That's a great place to be. But here's what ends up happening. Because it's a low-level problem, it's not as high-quality problem, this is harder to sell, isn't it? Now, there's some people who are looking for life purpose coaches. There are some who are looking for various kinds of things. But here's where all the coaches are spending all their time. Talking about things that are not tangible, because most coaches don't know how to make it tangible, and it's also not painful for a lot of people. So since it doesn't have any pain, you know what's not going to happen is that money isn't going to go towards that pain. That's why it's not going to fly off the shelf. Someone will buy it if you get it in front of the right people and if you talk about it in a tangible way. But honestly, things that are in the self-esteem category, which again are a lesser priority, but it's still a priority, and some that falls along these lines, we know that there's problems out there that people are very aware of and they want to solve them. Now, I've just made all of that really philosophical. If that's a little bit intangible, I'm going to make it really tangible right now, okay? So when it comes to your website, when it comes to your sales page, when it comes to your social media, let me tell you the things that you need to do to craft your message so that it is tangible and so that it flies off the shelf. And we're also going to compare a couple of websites so that you can see the difference of how this stuff works, okay? Let me say hello to a couple of people over here who are saying hello to me. Let me jump over here really quick. It sounds like, well, I don't know. If I turn this off, if I turn it off, yeah, it's still grabbing that microphone. I don't know. It's kind of weird, even though it's telling me over here that, let me try this one and see if that's better. Is that better now? Maybe that's better. Let me say hello to a couple of people. Christine, and there's Patricia, and there's Daniel. How's it going? Hopefully that fixed our microphone issues. I have no idea. Doing the best that we can on that. We just had some tech issues tonight, and now we move on. So what do we need to do? We need to figure out then, how do you actually look at someone's website, sales page, their social media, anything, and find out in 30 seconds whether or not it passes the test? And you can look at these pages and tell whether or not it's actually going to sell. First of all, can you tell? Actually, within 3 seconds is what I always say, but definitely in 30 seconds when you visit a website, can you tell who this is for? Second thing, what problems does this person's coaching, their coaching practice, or their product, what problem does it solve? Now, again, it needs to be a high quality problem, but what problem? Is it evident? Is it clear what problem that it solves? 3, how do you help me? Like if I go on, if somebody has this question, when they go on your website, when they go on your social media, they're saying, well, what problem? Who is this for? Is this for me? Because if they don't see themselves on it really quickly, if they don't see themselves in the story, then they're gone. But they're also going to ask this question, well, okay, maybe this is for me. This kind of looks like me, but what problems does it help people solve? And how do you help me? You know what that means? It means that you need to show that whatever you are offering, that you actually have a solution that can help them. And here's the fourth thing is, what's my next step? If there's a step to work with you, what is the next step? Is it a step to work with you or get more information or whatever? So let's look at what most coaches are doing out there. And again, as why we're looking is because too many coaches are copycatting this kind of stuff that I'm getting ready to show you. And it's the reason why they're not getting clients. And what I did is I blocked out stuff so that I'm not dragging any coaches through the mud. I'm actually very supportive of coaches, but this is just indicative of all the things that are out there in the coaching world. Like this. Are you, there it is. Are you living your best life? Which, if you've never heard me before, I did live your best life. I hate it because there is nothing lazier than that to put on your coaching website or on your Instagram. It violates everything that we were talking about earlier, especially with it, whether it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because if live your best life lives somewhere, it's somewhere in self-actualization, and it's not a pain point that someone's waking up with every day. And none of your future clients is just waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat saying, I just want to live my best life. They're not having nightmares about it. They're not dreaming about it. They're not punching in the clock. They're not driving around at 2:00 in the morning. Just they couldn't sleep and driving around. They're not haunted by live your best life. So why are we trying to sell live your best life? Because it's not a problem that people are trying to solve. But coaches are always trying to sell sandwiches that no one's ordering, unfortunately. You know why? Because they're copycatting what everybody else does. So let's just look at this webpage. What did we say? In 30 seconds, usually in 3 seconds, we should be able to see. We have no idea who this is for. Our lot is, are you living your best life, or is life just happening to you? Washing over you like ocean waves and often battering you against the rocks. Are we selling surf lessons? I'm not really sure. Are you swept up with the current at the mercy of your environment rather than steering the boat to where you want to go? Perhaps your life is zipping by too quickly. Oh, we're moving from the water thing, and now we're talking about something going too quickly and feeling stuck in an unfulfilling status quo. I don't know about that status quo word. It just doesn't speak to my heart. I don't know. And it's getting hard to keep pretending that everything is fine. And you're hungry for change. You know you deserve to live your best life. You just need to find your way forward. And that's where I come in. The blank unites people like you from all over the world, people who are taking control of their lives, bringing themselves back to a place of balance and living as the best version of themselves that they can be. It's incredibly vague. And this isn't selling anything. This is not someone. Now, what would, for your ideal client, if we wanted to say what would be living their best life, what would it be? I think about one of our coaches who was a parenting coach for moms, and the main problem that she was solving is moms who yell at their kids and they feel terrible about it and they want to stop yelling at their kids. There's so much that's so loaded. It's a pain point. And obviously, I'm not a mom, but I can imagine if I was yelling at my kids, this vicious cycle of feeling your kid's not listening to you. And now I feel ashamed because I yelled. And I don't want to be that yelling parent. But now I feel guilty. And now I can't motivate them to do some of the things that I need to do. And I'm frustrated and all this other stuff. So what was it? It was like really knowing the pain point and her developing. You know why the money would go to her? The money would go to her because it's something that a particular mom is grieving about every day, thinking about every day. Am I failing as a mom? I hate losing it, whatever. And so she spoke to that. And you know what happens? Magically, money goes to it because it's a problem that they're already thinking about that they want to solve, and not whether your life's being battered against the rocks. Right? Let's look at another one. Are you feeling that you've lost yourself or your direction? Does it feel like you need to reconnect with your joy for life? Are you struggling to live a life that is authentic to you? I don't know how all these problems relate to one another, but I'm really not sure what they are. Have you tried to solve the problems in your life on your own and realize you need help from someone else? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you've made the right choice by being here. Thank God I went on there. I'm in the right spot if I read that far. And I know this is hard. You've likely been debating, seeking help for months, if not years, but I'm so glad you found me. Boy, who's the hero there? Not the potential client. I'm so glad you found me. You've been looking, you've been trying to get help for years from everybody else, but you finally found me. All right. So I'm confident that together we can work to equip you with the necessary tools to help you face and overcome these challenges. Whatever those challenges are, which we're not really sure what they are, whether you're struggling with feeling lost and overwhelmed, loss of empowerment, true awareness of self, or not living a life that feels authentic to self. Why can't we just say you? Can we use the word you there, authentic to yourself? It's important that you don't have to be alone in this journey. I have the experience to help you achieve your goals, overcome these struggles, and live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. But what is their experience, and what's the proof that they actually have a path to victory to help you get to a solution? There's really not one. So enough of the bad. Let's look at the good. Can we, in just a few seconds, be able to find out on this website by one of our coaches, Angela, who's actually on tonight, I think. I know it's probably like 2:00 in the morning in Germany. But can you figure out who this is for? What problems do they help people solve? What solutions? Do they have a solution? And then what's their next step, right? So we look at this, and all right, so we got some colors here. We've got pictures. So pictures help, especially pictures of who your ideal client might be. Now, there's an assumption here when I look at this. When I see Ditch Perfect, Embrace Excellent, the Trade Up course, when I look at this, I just kind of have an assumption that this is probably for women. So I get over here, Ditch Perfect, Embrace Excellence, be free in 2 weeks. So what are we talking about? We're talking about perfectionism, right? So if perfectionism is the problem, I'm struggling with perfectionism. That problem is one that I want to solve because it's creating a lot of issues. It's creating chaos for me. And you know what it's telling me? It's telling me right here, okay, there's a solution, and this isn't going to take the rest of my life to try to figure it out. Gain true freedom from perfectionism's hold and happiness while achieving more. And now there's an enroll now. You know what that's telling me? It's telling me that there's a clue that there's a next step for me that's coming. And I might click here, but I can also find out if this really is this you? Well, I'm going to find out if this is me. Does this person understand the pain that I'm in? Exhausted from all the to-dos, fear of failure, procrastinating and feeling guilty, no work-play balance, just work, constant tweaking to get it right. Everything falls on your shoulders, no time for yourself, feeling undervalued and in constant competition, self-criticism and self-doubt on hyperdrive. You know what? If that relates to me, if that speaks to me, then I'm in. Now, what did we say? Who is this for? We know who it's for. What's the problem? It's perfectionism. How do I know? They're telling a story here. Angela's telling a story here. Does this sound like my story? Okay, if it is, then I'm in. Now we get to meet Angela. Is Angela the hero of the story, or is it someone else? And here's what she says. I've been exactly where you are now, and there was so much suffering. See, we love vulnerability. We love people being real. There was so much suffering the way I was doing life, always second guessing, never good enough, afraid to fail, afraid to succeed, not enjoying pretty much anything. But what I discovered is so good, the results so permanent, I just couldn't keep it to myself. And I found the keys to the cage of my perfectionism. Now they're reading this and they're saying, oh, my story is connecting with Angela's. I understand why she knows my problem so well. So what do we get down here? And as we scroll through, what do we end up finding out in this mini course? We find out the path to victory and how we can actually move forward. This is the way you do it. This is an example of coaching products that fly off the shelves. Now, look at how different that was from Live Your Best Life. If it was Live Your Best Life, that's not flying off the shelf. When it's a problem that you're already thinking about, that you're already suffering through and you're struggling with, the problem, the more urgent that it is, calls attention you're already thinking about. I don't have to sell that person. All I have to do, if I know what their problem is to describe the problem and show myself as a trustworthy, likable person who has a path, who has a solution that can help them. That's what we do as coaches. Those are coaching products that fly off the shelf. Now, I'm inviting everybody to join us for the Coaching Product Launch Blueprint. It's part of our Jumpstart program. And I'll tell you, Jumpstart's $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. You get trained and certified as a coach, and you get all the business development help, plus weekly group coaching calls. There's complete support all the way through. There's no guesswork. We literally bring you from brainstorming to launch. If you haven't launched your coaching practice, it's fine. Join us. You're going to learn how to in this. You want to launch a product, you want to launch a retreat, you want to launch a online course, whatever it is, we're going to show you how to do it. 0 to launch in 90 days or less. And so what all does it work for? Well, it really works for anything, for your business launch, for group coaching, for online courses, for webinars, for workshops, all of these different things. There's 6 core steps that we walk you through. We begin with brainstorming, and we help you do a deep dive personal inventory that helps you mine for ideas. Why do we do a deep dive in your personal inventory? Because you've probably already defeated giants or slayed dragons before, and you need to reverse engineer the process. What you'll walk away with is 3 amazing ideas that could be a coaching product for the future. And what we end up doing is that we choose one of those ideas for what we're going to work on together. The one that stands out the most, that has the most juice, we're going to work on together. Not just me with you guys, but all of our crew that joins us on Wednesdays. You're going to have an assignment each week, and you're going to work on those things, and then we review it together. Because there's an online group where you can connect all week. But then Wednesday was when we get together, then I walk you through the process so you know exactly what you're doing. We take you by the hand. Step 3, we structure your product. We organize your thoughts and it's really easy to do because we give you a coaching product wireframe. Step 4, what do? Is that we try to figure out how are we going to actually deliver this product. Would it be better in a webinar? Would it be better in an online course? What we do is that we give you a product shell and you plug your ideas into it, and it becomes really obvious how you're supposed to deliver it. Step 5, we give you the pre-launch sequence. And what we give you is the 8 key ingredients for success so that you're not really having any guesswork when it comes to actual launch. We also give you a wireframe for building out your website. We show you how to write a sales page, how to write emails, how to write social media posts, all these other things. Everything is step by step and it's right in front of you. How do we launch in 90 days or less? It's going to be Wednesdays at 5:30. This is going to begin on the 24th of this month. You're going to have replays available within 24 hours. You get weekly tools and assignments to help you develop your strategy. We help you develop your coaching products, and we give you feedback on anything that you're working on. You're going to learn how to put together lead magnets, funnels, all of those other things, craft your messaging for social media, your sales pages and emails. All of this starts January 24th. How do you get it? Well, you get enrolled. If you go to the link inside the description of this video, you're actually going to go to the coaching product launch blueprint sales page so that you can see a lot more, but you're actually going to enroll in Jumpstart. If you have not gotten trained and certified as a coach, we can help you knock that out because it's part of Jumpstart. If you're an alumni of us or of somebody else, you can still join this. It's $97 a month. That's less than Starbucks. $3.25 a day. If you were drinking Starbucks every day, you know you spend more than $3.25. So all of this, all the support, all the steps, all the tools, it's only $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. And we've put this thing together to help you get launched in 90 days. And granted, if you're still trying to get trained and certified, obviously that's going to take you a little bit of time in the front end, but you can stay in the program for as long as you need us. We're not going to kick you out after 90 days, but you keep us for as long as you need us, but it's a 90-day minimum commitment. So hopefully that's helpful. Oh, and there's Angela. She says, thanks for the vote of confidence. That was a surprise. So weird. I'm here tonight. It is. It is very weird that you're here tonight because, yes, it is 3:00 in the morning over there. But Angela's crushing it. You should go check out her website, inspirationintegration.com. She's a brilliant coach. She's amazing. So, and in a great place to learn how to do some of these things, because it's not just about having a pretty website, but it has all of the elements that we talked about. Hey, does anybody have any questions before we head out for the day? I'm getting ready to peace out. Thanks for bearing with us with all the technology issues. Thankful that we got it fixed. I want to see you get enrolled. Let's take the excuses out of the way. Most of you, if you don't pull the trigger on something now, it's going to be another year that passes you by. January is an easy month to sign clients, but if you're behind the ball on this thing, like if some of you got trained and certified last year and you haven't gotten a client yet, you have no excuses. You are right now in a rut and you need to do something about it. Join us. We'll walk alongside you to help you get this thing done. So if you got trained and certified with us or anybody else, and you haven't gotten your business started and it's already January and it's already halfway through January, you've already missed half of one of the most lucrative months of the entire year. So you need to get moving on this, and let's give you the plan of action with no guesswork and the support that you need. We'll take you by the hand and help you make this happen. But don't let another year get by. Don't let the most lucrative months of 2024 get by, because this first quarter of the year is really easy and it's going to be really busy. And there's a lot of people who are looking for change. They don't want a repeat of 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. They want the new. And so let's get out there and help them. Depression and anxiety and a lot of other kinds of things have increased by 25% since 2020. There's more need than ever in people who are desperately looking for help. And so it's time for you to put your coaching hat out there, put it on, and put yourself out there and get to work, because we're behind the ball. Like, we need more help out here. I see it all the time. I watched somebody crumble yesterday as a result of the encouragement that they got. Crumble in a good way, not in a bad way, in a whole kind of way of like, and you know what they did? They went home and made major changes in their life. They cut off relationships. They did a lot of other kinds of things to move forward. Like I'm going to make a decision in my life and draw a line in the sand. I watched that with somebody yesterday. That's how I spent my weekend as a coach. This is what we get to do. We get to partner with people, see their breakthrough, and watch them walk into their purpose while we walk into ours. Angela says, Jumpstart is magic. Hope to see you all there. Well, cool. Well, I appreciate that, Angela. Well, listen, everybody, I'm going to let you guys go. Appreciate you staying with me, staying through the tech issues and everything else. Click that link inside the description. Get enrolled. I want to see you. We've only got, 9 days? Is that right? It's the 15th. We got 9 days before we start the next cohort of the Coaching Product Launch Blueprint. I want to see you there. Let's make this thing happen. Have a great rest of your week and take care.